Hello, I'm Charlie, and before we start looking at songs from our Tom Gates music book, we need to learn a few chords. So if you're not sure of any chords, and this is all new to you, then this is the video for you. Okay, we're going to start looking at the major chords first, and then we'll take a look at the minor chords. The general theory is that a major chord sounds happy, whilst a minor chord has a sad sound. When placed in context of a song, the combination of these major and minor chords give the song some interest and help create a sense of a journey. Okay, let's start with the A major chord. Here's the chord shape. Let's take a look at the chord first. I'm using 3 fingers, the first finger, the second finger, and my third finger, and they're all in the second fret. The strings I'm using are the second string, the third string, and the fourth string. And the first string and the fifth string are both played open strings. This means we're not using any fingers on those strings. The sixth string is not being used at all, and will commonly be seen with a cross in your chord box, meaning not to play it. So we strum from the fifth string all the way down. So practicing this chord, play the chord shape. First of all, it's important to play each note from the fifth string all the way down to the first string individually. Try to make sure every note is clearly ringing through. If any notes are not ringing through, then adjust your fingers accordingly. Once you've got all the notes ringing through, take 4 strums on your chord. This is a great way to start practicing. You might feel a bit of discomfort at the base of your thumb from pushing down on the back of the fretboard. You might also see grooves and feel a bit of pain in your fingertips. These things are completely normal and they will disappear over time with practice. However, if it really hurts, then it's time for a break. Okay, the next chord we're going to look at is the chord of C major. Let's take a look at the chord shape and have a listen. My first finger is playing on the first fret on the second string. My second finger is playing on the second fret on the fourth string. My third finger is playing on the third fret on the fifth string. Strings 1 and strings 3 are both played as open strings, and the 6th string is not played at all, so again we'll see our cross on our chord boxes. It's important again, as with other chords, to play each note individually, and if any of your notes are not ringing through or buzzing, then adjust your fingers accordingly. The third chord we're going to look at is the chord D major. I often call this D triangle because of the way it looks. Let's have a look at the chord. So you can see my fingers create this triangle shape, which helps me to memorise that chord and where to put my fingers. My first finger is playing on the second fret, the third string. My second finger is playing on the second fret on the first string. And my third finger is playing on the third fret on the second string. I'm also playing the fourth string open, but I'm not playing the fifth or sixth string, so both these strings will have crosses on them. Let's have a listen. As with the other chords, pick each note individually, make sure they're all ringing through clearly, and if there's any buzzing notes or any dead notes, adjust your fingers accordingly. The fourth chord is the chord of E major. Let's take a look. In this chord, we can strum all the strings, so there are no strings with crosses on them. My first finger is playing on the first fret on the third string. My second finger is playing on the second fret on the fifth string. And my third finger is playing on the second fret on the fourth string, just tucked underneath my second finger. And again, strum all the strings, pick each note individually, make sure they're all clearly ringing through, and adjust your fingers if any of the notes are not working. The next chord is the chord of F major. Now this one's a little bit trickier than some of the others because it's what's known as a bar chord, although we're going to play a slightly simplified version. A bar chord is when you use one finger to cover more than one string. So in this instance, I'm going to use my first finger across both strings 1 and 2 in the first fret. I'm then going to use my second finger to play on the third string in the second fret, and my third finger is going to play on the third fret on the fourth string. We're not going to play the fifth or sixth strings at all, so again we'll see a cross on both those strings. We're going to strum from the fourth string all the way down. You might find some discomfort at the back of your thumb at the bottom of your thumb for this one, because you have to push quite hard in order for your bar or your first finger to play both of those notes. But with a little bit of time and practice and playing each note individually, you'll get there. Okay, the final major chord we're going to learn is the chord G major. This one's a bit of a stretch, but with some practice you'll get there. Let's take a look at the chord shape first. Okay, starting from the lowest string, I have my second finger being played on the 3rd fret on the 6th string. My first finger is playing on the 2nd fret on the 5th string. Then we have this big jump to my 3rd finger, which is playing on the 3rd fret on the 1st string. In the middle of this chord we have the 4th string, the 3rd string and the 2nd string, all played as open strings. You can strum all the strings to play this chord. Again, play each note individually and adjust your fingers accordingly to make sure they're all ringing through. Okay, so we've learnt all the major chords, now it's time to look at the minor chords. The good news is that to play the songs in this book, there's only 3 minor chords to learn. Let's take a look. So the first chord we're going to look at is the chord of A minor. Let's have a listen to the chord. So for this chord, my first finger is playing on the 1st fret on the 2nd string. My second finger is playing on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. And my 3rd finger is playing on the 2nd fret on the 3rd string. I'm also playing strings 5 and 1, both as open strings. And I'm not playing the 6th string at all. So again, cross on our chord box. Pick each note individually. And you should hear that classic sad sound minor chord. Our next minor chord is the chord of D minor. Let's take a listen. In this chord, my first finger is playing on the 1st fret on the 1st string. My second finger is playing on the 2nd fret on the 3rd string. And my 3rd finger is playing on the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. And I'm also playing the 4th string open. We're not playing the 5th or 6th strings at all, so crosses on our chord boxes. Pick each note individually. And if any of the notes are not ringing through or they're buzzing, again, adjust your fingers accordingly. And the final minor chord we need to learn is the chord of E minor. This is a nice simple one. Let's take a look and a listen. The good thing about this chord is there's so many open strings, we only need to use 2 fingers to play the chord. Those are, my second finger is playing on the 2nd fret on the 5th string, and my 3rd finger is playing on the 2nd fret on the 4th string. All the rest of the strings are open strings, so there are no crosses for this chord. Again, pick each note individually, make sure they're all clearly ringing through, and adjust your fingers if you've got any buzzing notes or any dead notes. The Tom Gates music book is a fantastic and fun way for you to learn an instrument. It has all your favourite Tom Gates songs on the ukulele, the guitar, the drums, the piano, the recorder and the vocals. You could even take a graded exam. Good luck and have fun.